The one who most wants to move on in life, Mars. Of course, that seems unlikely for now. The second place I most want to go in life is Antarctica, especially a certain part of Antarctica. I'll explain where it is in a moment, but is it possible? Because some claim that they are forbidden to go to Antarctica. Antarctica is one of the most interesting places in the world. It is known as the seventh continent, but it is actually fifth in terms of size, because it is almost twice the size of Australia and bigger than Europe. I don't need to tell you that it is the coldest place in the world. It is also the windiest and the driest. Yes, I say dry, it's actually technically a region of Antarctica. In fact, there's one place where it hasn't rained for 2 million years. It's the driest place on Earth. And that's where I want to go. This 4,800 square kilometer area called the McMurdo Dry Valleys doesn't even have snow. That's because of the Antarctic katabatic wind. The cold air in the atmosphere above Antarctica descends vertically at an altitude of 10,000 meters, causing these cold winds. These winds sometimes reach speeds of up to 320 kilometers per hour in the dry valley, up to 320 kilometers per hour at times in the dry valley, and it takes all the moisture out of the area. Scientists have found mummified animals living in this area that have been dead for years and years, that look as if they died only yesterday. Scientists have been able to go out there and do such beautiful things. But can't we ordinary people go out there? You couldn't go there 200 years ago in 1818. You couldn't even ask, is it forbidden to go to Antarctica? Because the existence of such a continent was known. Look, not 200 years ago, not even 400 years ago. Can Mars be visited? Was a question you could ask. This planet, which has been continuously observed by various astronomers from the Chinese to the Iraqis for thousands of years. In 1610, Galileo observed it through a telescope all the way to its poles. But at that time, the same Galileo did not know about the fifth largest continent of the planet he lived on. Although there were legends and theories that there must be such a continent, no one saw known about it until an expedition organized by the Russians in 1820. It wasn't until 1911, almost a century later, that the south polar point inside the continent was reached. Just 58 years before our first steps on the moon. So we are in a place that contains very little about us. And as humans, the less we know about something, unfortunately, the more opinions we can have. And it's good to have opinions, but a conspiratorial team of theorists can come up with theories. Mysterious gigantic objects, pyramids expanding, alien bases, all kinds of fantasies. One of the most popular geographies, Antarctica, in this short lifetime of exploration. Of course, since the Earth is flat, it is actually a natural barrier with the snow surrounding its perimeter. We should not leave out those who claim that there is a border. Here is the common point of all these conspiracy theories. There was something mysterious there, and that mysterious mystery was tried to be hidden and concealed by someone, and it was forbidden or impossible in total. It is not forbidden to go to Antarctica. There is even no need for visa cuts to enter, because Antarctica is the only continent without a country. It is not politically connected to anywhere. Like the moon or Mars now, it belongs to all of us if we go, to none of us if we don't. So there is a continent there. We cannot say that it is our continent, whether we go there or not. And if we go, does it belong to us? A few hundred years ago, when they started colonizing, countries could very easily claim that the places they went to belonged to them. As a matter of fact, even after the colonization era, the British tried to use Antarctica for their operations in the 1900s. In addition, France, Norway, Germany, and many other countries claimed that, well, we are also working here, so we have the right. These claims and disputes continued until the middle of the 20th century, until 1956. That year, New Zealand, whose land was established on another of the most recently discovered methods, said that this continent was world soil. Well, in 1959, many countries came together and signed the Antarctic Treaty. Currently, a total of 53 countries, including Turkey, have signed this treaty as a party. According to this, you cannot conduct military activities on the continent. You cannot do mining. You cannot carry out nuclear activities. Keep that in mind. Only parts are allowed, and in order not to pollute the nature, There are some special restrictions and rules. They even have toilet rules. It's a small 50 cents. It's not, but there are serious and regular regulations in place to minimize human deaths, to minimize the possible damage to nature. But this treaty, the Antarctic Treaty, no one, no matter what nationality, is forbidden to continue to the continent. You can be wherever you want, whenever you want, even at the South Pole. So if it's so easy and it's the place you most want to go in the world? No, you may ask. No, you don't. The reasons are obvious and a bit emotional. Does anyone know the performance of the Polar Cruises Company? When we look at the discounted tickets, at any time of the year there are at least 1,000 people living on the Antarctic continent. There are scientists who research most things. By the way, Turkey took an important step in scientific research last year, with the assignment of the Ministry of Science, Industry, and Technology. A research delegation of 9 people went there under the coordination of ITU's Polar Research Institute. Hopefully a permanent research station can be established in a short time. In fact, the first Turk to go to Antarctica was Professor Dr. Atak Karyali in 1967. The place where extremely difficult walks, such as -80 degrees, were made, there was named Karali Rocks. Another place in Antarctica, bearing the Turkish name, is Inan Hill. Professor Dr. Umran Inan, currently the rector of Koç University, is one of the world's leading experts on ionosphere and atmospheric physics. When I study the near space of the world, putting stations and measuring instruments in the Antarctic helps me to have some possibilities that I cannot do anywhere else in the world. So we can go to the Antarctic to make these measurements. Not to share the Antarctic, but to use it as a balcony. When he was a professor at Stanford University in the 1980s, during his studies of Antarctica's atmosphere, a 2,451-meter dense hill there was named the Hill of Faith. Wondering where it is, go to Google Maps and search for Inan Peak. Did you find it? Now let me show you where I want to do it. Go a little higher, go up, go up, go up, about 100 kilometers to the north. You will see a darkness and you will think, where did this darkness come from? Such a dark place, on a continent, covered with white snow and ice. So why is it the second place I want to work the most? Because it's so mysterious. But it's not the kind of mystery you can create a lot of conspiracy theories about. It's a mystery to be studied, to walk on that land. It is the driest and coldest land in the world. In fact, according to a report published in 2016, it was the first and only place where even microbial life existed. That's why scientists have declared it the most Mars-like region in the world. So the place I want to go the most is the most similar to Mars. I can't go to Mars for now, but at least I like the hope that I can be seen the most I'll ever be seen on Earth. The edge of the world in Antarctica. Or the edge of the world in Antarctica. Or there are aliens hiding for free yet. But there is a very ideal environment there that can be explored for life in space. It's not forbidden to keep going. It's forbidden to imagine that imagination is the only barrier in our minds to do scientific research. It is not forbidden to go to Antarctica. It is forbidden to colonize it. It is free to conquer it through scientific research. If we manage to remove the only barrier to the future, the barrier in our heads, maybe one day somewhere in that mysterious land 100 kilometers wide of the Hill of Faith will be named after one of us. Who knows?